Hello guys, welcome to last minute prep, day 1 of learning IoT. And today we are going to learn the basics of IoT and characteristics, challenges, and of course applications. Let me give you a quick review what is an IoT is. In general, if a person A wants to communicate, suppose is the person A and let it be person B. So how they are going to communicate with each other? So if this person want to communicate with B, then he will speak to him when the person is in front of him. So that likewise we are using internet for providing the communication between two devices which are at different places. This is nothing but an IoT. In simple, these things what we are trying to make communication between are called as nodes or end devices, etc. So we are using internet. So we are using internet between these two devices to enable communication between them for data transmission and the data communication between these two devices. This is nothing but an IoT. And here the things A and B, these both can be a embedded system. Of course, embedded system is nothing but the combination of both hardware and software. So enabling the communication between these two devices is nothing but an IoT. Okay. So IoT means the Internet of Things. It is all about connecting everyday objects like appliances and vehicles to the internet. These objects have special technology like sensors and software which helps them connect and share information. IoT makes it possible for devices to collect and exchange data, creating smarter and more automated systems. So, like I previously mentioned, for the present generation, all of our home is filled with IoT devices. Like if we are using the TV, smart TVs, smart watches, mobiles. So all the devices are using internet for communication between any other device. So they are exchanging the data in the form of packets. This is nothing but an IoT. Okay. So let us look into the 5 industrial revolutions of this IoT. So we have in total 5 industries. Those are industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 and 5.0. So the and coming to the parts or components and technologies in IoT. So these are the components that we are going to use in the IoT for complete a product, IoT product. Those are devices and sensors, actuators, control units, cloud computing, networking. Okay. Let us look into this in detail. Okay, let us start with the sensors. So what are sensors? These are like the eyes and ears of the gadgets. So what they are going to do is they gather the information. Okay, the sensors convert the atmospheric values data like heat values or something. These values they digitalize the data. Okay, and coming to the actuators, so these are like the muscles. They take action based on what the sensors see. Okay. uh, let us take an example like my eye is a sensor. Okay, when a ball, while I'm playing a cricket, a ball is coming towards me. So what I'm going to do is my eye senses the data. Okay, senses the data and it will tell to my controller. So what is the controller here? My brain. So it will send the data to the brain, and based on the data that my eye sensed, my hand is going to react. So it will generate some physical movement. So this is nothing but an actuator. Okay, And coming to the control unit, so I told you before, what is the controller? It is my brain. So this is the thing, the control unit is a thing that is going to control the whole IoT device that we are going to make. Okay, these are the brains, they process the information and they decide what to do next. So next is cloud computing. Of course, cloud is the most important thing in a IoT because the real time data analysis, etc., all the things. So in IoT, the cloud is the center part between the devices. Okay, so these are like big storage rooms in the sky. Okay, I'm trying to tell you very simply. This is like a big storage room in the sky. It keeps all the data safe and let you access it from anywhere. And coming to the networking is very crucial in the IoT because we're trying to establish a communication between devices. So networking plays a crucial role. So this is the connection between everything. It's how the gadgets talk to each other and the internet. Okay, uh, together these parts make the internet of things. So it's a world where everyday objects are connected and can do amazing things. And let's see how the IoT works. Okay, let me tell you with an simple example. So imagine you have a smart refrigerator. It has sensors that monitors the temperature inside and the levels of the food items. Okay, here's how it works. So what is this? Collect and transmit data. Okay, so the sensors in the fridge constantly check the temperature and the food levels. So sensors gathers information and actuate device. Okay, if the temperature gets too high, the fridge cooling system turns on automatically. Okay, and receive information. The fridge might connect to the internet and suggest recipes based on the food that you have inside. Like we are seeing a lot of examples like this in the modern refrigerators, right? So next, communication assistance. So the fridge uses special protocols to communicate with other smart devices in your home. Like uh, presently we are seeing a lot of examples like this. Like if you are using the multiple devices in your home of the same company, like if you are using the Apple products, the Apple environment, like Samsung environment, like that. If the fridge uses the fridge will use the special protocols so communicate with other smart devices in your home. Okay, this is the simple example of how the internet of things works. In this case, the fridge is a IoT device and using sensors, actuators and communication to make your life easier. The next part is setting up an IoT. Okay, so when we are going to do a project, the IoT project, we have to set up, choose some platforms for that, like the cloud platforms and the hardware that what we want to use. We want to use the specific hardware uh, for the specific projects based on our requirements. Okay, uh, so let me tell this with, okay, let me explain this first. So what is first one? Choosing a platform. So I need to choose a service like AWS IoT or Microsoft Azure. These are all cloud platforms. Okay, these services help manage all the IoT devices and data they collect. So what I said you before, like the clouds are used to store the data that the sensors collect. Okay, so these are the platforms, these are the cloud platforms, these AWS IoT and Microsoft. There are a lot of IoT clouds for the students, like for the students who are in BTech. We have some free cloud platforms for the real-time data analysis. Those are ThinkSpeak, which is a MATLAB platform, and the Blink. Of course, every BTech EC student will know that the Blink cloud. And second one is selecting the hardware. Okay, I'll need boards like Arduino boards and Raspberry Pis, ESP node MCUs. We're going to see about the each board in detail in the upcoming lectures. So these make it easier to build the IoT system. So what are these boards? These Arduino or Raspberry Pis. So these are all the controllers. Of course, Raspberry Pi is a processor using Bluetooth beacons. Okay, these are cool little devices that help objects broadcast information to nearby devices. So beacons are nothing but the small devices that is used to broadcast a signal. Okay, we have not only the Bluetooth beacons, we have the Wi-Fi beacons. Okay, they'll just transmit the data. So if I have a beacon here, what it will do is, so let us assume this as a Wi-Fi beacon. Okay, what it will do is, for a particular time, let us assume it has a 10 seconds transmission rate. So what it is going to do is, for every 10 seconds it is going to transmit the data in this particular range. Okay, this is nothing but the beacon. And coming to the characteristics of IoT, so the characteristics of IoT includes connectivity, sensors and data collection. We already learned it before. The data processing, so we are using we will when you combine this IoT with other technologies like ML for data processing, next automation and control, scalability. Okay, and the challenges in IoT. So this is the most important and most important challenge for the IoT, the security and privacy. So when the communication is establishing between the two devices, like here A and B, the communication is establishing between two devices. So what if this data is confidential? So if the third person comes, so let us assume C want to access the data. So if it is confidential, then we can't provide a security for this data. Okay, so what we are going to do is, we are using different type of protocols. There are different types of protocols which are secured for establishing the connection, that we are going to discuss in the upcoming lectures. The interoperability, scalability and reliability. So when we design a thing, like either it's an IoT or an embedded, so we need a reliability for that. Okay, it should work in any environmental conditions, it should work very efficiently. So these are all will be the challenges for this IoT. Okay, and the real time communication is also a challenge for this IoT. Okay, there should be no delay for the, for some applications we should not accept any delay. Okay, and let us take a case study here. Okay, uh, like we discussed before, here is another example, the healthcare monitoring using IoT. Okay, so the medical devices like wearable health monitors, like we used to see some devices attached to the patients in the hospitals, like BP sensors, etc. Like smart medical implants and home-based health monitoring systems are connected to via IoT. So what the doctors are going to do is, they will simply attach the sensor to the patient, and they can view the patient's data from their cabin, from the cabinet or from anywhere, using their laptop simply. So they don't need to come to the patient to check the values that they want from the patient. So what is happening here is a real-time data analysis is going to happen here. Okay, and the sensors and data collection, these wearable devices that have talked before consist of different types of sensors. And the next part is data processing. So what these devices will do, they will collect the data from the patient, and they will transmit this data to the cloud, to the server of the hospital, and from that server the doctors will take the information and they will see the values that was measured by the devices. Okay, and this data processing will also includes the combining of different technologies like ML. So based on some values, it will predict what is the disease that he he is suffering from. Like, okay, and automation and control of let us took an example, like if the patient's body temperature is too high, so what some device will do is they will automatically transmit the data, sends an alarm signal to the doctor or the nurse over, in the cabinet. So this particular patient's temperature is too high. Okay, this is an automation and control. This comes under because it will automatically sense the data based on conditional values or some threshold values. Okay, next one is scalability. Of course, the health monitoring systems leveraging IoT characteristics can accommodate a growing number of users and integrate with various health monitoring devices. So this also ensuring the scalability and interoperability. Coming to the security and privacy concerns, the data security, like protecting the sensitive healthcare data from unauthorized access or breaches, is a major challenge. And privacy protection, ensuring this patient's health information remains confidential and compliant with regulations like HIPAA. And coming to the interoperability issues, integrating various IoT devices from different manufacturers for seamless functionality. This comes under this device compatibility and standardization. Coming to the standardization, so the lack of uniform protocols hindering efficient data exchange among healthcare devices. So these challenges need to be addressed to ensure the safe and effective use of IoT in healthcare. This is just a small example for the healthcare monitoring using IoT challenge. Okay, and reliability and data accuracy. So device reliability, making sure of these IoT devices consistently collect data, accurate healthcare data, and data quality. So keep data accurate and consistent across different platforms and devices. We need to maintain this quality of the data and the meeting standards. So internet adhering to healthcare regulations for data collection, storage, and transmission. And coming to ethical considerations, so obtaining a consent and ensuring ethical use of patient data. So when using IoT devices in healthcare, it's crucial to address ethical concerns, particularly regarding patient consent and data privacy. Okay, and that's it. These are the basics of IoT. We will discuss about the different types of IoT protocols, different type of IoT models, and different study cases in the upcoming lectures.